Wow, we're getting to the end so quickly. I'm gonna go into mourning in March or February, should I say February? Welcome to the D. Louise book series. I'm Christina Kristina. Hope you're having a good day or night or a guten Tag or guten Morgen or guten Donnerstag or Mittwoch or whatever. Sorry, I'm on this kick. So we're getting down to the end here. It's gonna be sad, but hey, if you could hit the like and subscribe, I'd appreciate it greatly. Um, this is where we read books, talk about books. No special effects going on here. No theme music, nothing special. No fancy editing. It's just me reading books, talking books. And we are doing book 51, Shadow in Death, Eve Dallas. And as I said before, I'm an audiobook person. I love Susan Erickson. Some of the later ones are going to be audible, so I won't have the physical copies anymore. But from all of the series, I have the entire series on Book on CD, all of them. As with Laurel and as with some others up there. I hope you checked out my Mary Janice Davison one. We're going to be finish up J.A. Jance too. J.P. Beaumont's going to be finishing up too. There's only 4 more books left in that. So we'll get this done this week. So, Eve Dallas, Shadow in Death. And we've got another fancy cover. The last few. She only started this like in the 40s. And you really can't see it close up, but when I put it in the camera, I can see it. I can see it better when I show it to you than when I look at it. But it's the bridge and Eve's badge over here. I guess it's supposed to be a shadow. So that's the inside cover. So, Shadow in Death. And we get a little more from Rourke's point of view. And it's not as... There are not as many cute, funny moments as previous books. It's a little more serious than, in the past. Some of the next couple of books get really, really serious and deal with really, really serious subjects. So they don't have the little commentary that I like. And I usually spoil you tremendously in characters and leave the plot for you and the mystery for you to do. But I will warn you, this is going to be spoilers all over the place. I'm going to spoil this book up the yin-yang because there's a lot of stuff going on. There's some character updates that I wanted to touch on. But there's also some cute conversations. Not many. It's more of a serious aspect, but they take place discussing the plot line. So I want to warn you right now. Spoiler! Spoiler! One of my podcasts that I listen to for my Big Brother, if you didn't know, I am a huge, massive Big Brother Survivor Traders fan. I watch BBUS, BB Canada, BB UK, BB Australia. BB Australia was the first one that ever did a Big Brother, and they do it differently. Australia does completely different than everybody else. They play massive head games with their cast. Oh, it's just, they put them in panic rooms. They do all this psychological stuff to them. It's just different. So anyways, back to our J.D. Robb. Shadows in Death. The book starts off with Rourke's point of view. Apparently Rourke and Eve had been out for the evening, and they get called to a murder scene in the park. And while Eve is doing the identifying the victim and, establishing time of death and all that kind of stuff, Rourke sees a blast from the past in the crowd. And apparently the blast from the past wanted Rourke to see him and wanted Rourke to know he was there. So, before he leaves, because he, at the end of whenever we do one of these where Rock is there, he always sends for Eve's car, sends for his car, and stuff like that. So before he leaves, he gives her the heads up. He tells her who her killer was. So then they go and talk to the witness, who gives a chunk full of information, who knows more than he had a relationship with the victim. Then we move on to the relatives of the victim. And turns out, and this is a spoiler, it turns out the relative hired the hitman to kill his wife for money. He couldn't stand her anymore. He wanted controlling interest of her company. You can get your details from the book. He turns out to be a real slime ball, and Eve doesn't know why this woman married this guy in the first place. He snowed her 6 ways to Sunday. He sure did. So then we do some investigating on him, and we help the nanny out. We get her family in town. They tell him there's a whole bunch of stuff going on there. And then once we deal with the husband and get through with him, now we have to deal with the hired gun. And the hired gun is Cobby. And he totally believes that he was Patrick Rourke's biological son. He's not. And they can prove it DNA-wise that he's not. But he totally believes it because he worshipped the ground that Patrick Rourke walked on. And we know how horrible and evil Patrick Rourke was. And how, Rourke doesn't care. You can believe whatever you want. It's not the truth. I don't care. It's not like Patrick Rourke had a legacy or anything. And Rourke has built his own life. So, but this guy is obsessed. Even though Patrick Rourke has been dead for years now, this guy is obsessed. He wants to kill Rourke so he can obtain first son status. And, you're like, what is going on in this guy's brain? First son, it doesn't matter. The guy's dead. There was no inheritance. There was no money. And this guy, the assassin, charges like $2 or $3 million a job, so it's not like he actually needs money. But he just has this thing against Rourke, and he wants to see Rourke down. And now that he knows about Rourke, he knows about Somerset, and he knows about Eve. And we have a little update here. I want to see what I was talking about. I specifically brought to this page. So they're talking about this is about the case. Okay. So we don't need that. But they're talking about the hired gun, the husband. So we're gonna get past that. So and then Rourke tells Eve about his childhood and stuff like that, and his relationship with Cobb growing up and more stuff like that. And I like we know that Eve has no clue about clothes. She just figures you've got clothes on, you're good to go, period, and it doesn't matter what you're wearing. But we know that Rourke has been filling her closet with clothes for their entire marriage, and she just wears whatever's in there. She doesn't really give it any thought. And so she's talking to Rourke, and she went to her own closet, grabbed a pair of trousers at random. She shimmied into them and a support tank, thought of good weather, so grabbed a short sleeve shirt and jacket. As she pulled on the shirt, Rourke stepped to the opening of her closet. Are you doing that deliberately to distract me? What? She reached for a belt. Pairing that jacket with those pants and put that belt back. Why? The pants are black, the jacket's black, the belt's black. He took the jacket, hung it up. The pants are indigo. She rolled her eyes behind his back as he picked another jacket. And roll your eyes all you like, he said without turning around. If you're going to wear indigo, which is a very deep navy, not black, with the accent of gray influence, celadon. What the hell is celadon? It sounds contagious. It's green, in this case a gray green, as is this jacket. He pulled one out. With its indigo buttons. Take that shirt off. I don't have time for closet sex, pal. He pulled it over her head, then pulled her in, just held it. Wish we did. She held him close too. Me too. But since closet sex is off the agenda, use the closet for its more traditional purpose. Drawing away, he moved another shirt, white, to add crispness. I had on a white shirt, with the demeanor of a patient and teacher instructing a baffled student. Held up the first shirt. This shirt is white, and the belt, he tossed her the white shirt, selected a belt, is indigo, as are your trousers. It's a pity you balked at Celadon boots for a workday, as they complete the outfit perfectly, but he moved over to the wall of shelves that held the ridiculous to her mind number of boots he'd acquired. This will finish off the look and fall within your version of appropriate. She took them again. Indigo, there you have it. Even clothes. So then, after Eve leaves for the day, Rourke goes down to talk to Somerset. And, I probably should have started this differently. But hopefully you've been with me for a while. Eve is a lieutenant in the New York City Police Department, and Peabody is her partner, and McNabb is Peabody's cohab, and Rourke is her husband. Somerset is the major domo, and Rourke's sort of kind of non-DNA father. And McNabb is an EDD. Feeney's his boss. Whitney is Eve's boss. Nadine is her best friend, one of her best friends, and a reporter, has her own TV shows, written books. Mavis, we don't see Mavis in this book, so we really don't have to talk about it. You are cute today. Seem is cute. Seem is cute. Are you cute? Are you being cute today? There we go. You're being cute today. Before he did anything else, he needed to sit down and speak to Somerset. He found the man who'd been his father most of his life sitting in the kitchen. He wore one of his severe black suits as he drank coffee and read the day's news on a tablet. He glanced over as Rourke came in, as Rourke set the cat down, and the cat padded straight over to rub against Somerset's legs. Don't let him con you. He's had breakfast. Somerset reached down, scratched the cat between the ears with his long, bony fingers. As you have, I trust. Coffee? Thanks, no, I've had enough. He walked over, sat across from Somerset, simply said, Lorcan Cobb. That's a name I'm sorry to hear again. What of him? He's in New York. He killed a woman last night. It's Eve's case. Somerset's keen, dark eyes stayed steady on Rourke. How do you know it was Cobb? Because I saw him. Because he made certain I did. Rourke added the details. Somerset accepted Galahad on his lap, stroked while he listened. The lieutenant's quite sure the husband hired Cobb. Considering all, Somerset nodded, and intends to track Cobb through the connection. In a nutshell, yes. And it goes on. And goes and sees Morris. And So she's talking to Peabody. When they got to the car, Eve leaned back a moment. I'm going to tell you what I know about Cobb. Some of what I know is from sources I shouldn't have at this time. I'm going to talk to Whitney and have him push to have some of the sources read me in. But I won't have my partner in the dark on an investigation. Peabody simply nodded. So you'll tell me what you know, but until we're able to access it officially, we'll keep it out of the book. That's right. If Whitney can't get us access to the information, we're going to use what we have anyway and keep it out of the book. Are you all right with that? You never asked me to do anything that wasn't right. There's a difference between right and regs sometimes. That's why regs can change, but right doesn't. And that Eve realized might be the long and short of why she'd made Peabody her partner. It was a moment. So we get through this. And we know how Eve always uses Mira to do a consult on the murderer to get a feel for him. And Peabody makes the suggestion, oh good God. You are so cute. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You're gonna be interrupted by your pet. Never, never too busy to give attention to your pet. So Peabody comes up with this little cute idea. Check and check. But would he talk to Mira? I get he's giving you the overview, the details, and you're going to consult with Mira. But doesn't that end up filtered through you? If he talked to her directly, it's, direct. And Eve is like, yeah, that's a good idea. So then Rourke gives her data on the stuff. So let's just speed forward here. That we get to the husband. So Eve goes to tell Whitney about the case and that she knows who the whodunit is, and she knows, all the details of it. And Whitney just about loses it. Are you sure it was a hit? 100%. Lork and Cobb identified by an eyewitness and through security footage. Whitney held up a finger. I know that name. How do I know that name? Most alphabet agencies on the planet know that name, sir. He's suspected of multiple hits in multiple countries. He works primarily in Europe, is an Irish citizen. Rourke, son of a bitch! The angry curse, the way Whitney shoved away from his desk, had Eve snapping to attention and into silence. Whitney rarely lost his composure, and now with his face thunderous, he paced in front of his glass wall and those shining eyes. I know that goddamn name. He strode to the office door, flung it open. Get Captain Feeney in here now. Slammed it shut. Home invasion, 3 dead, Adam and Ellen Solomon and their 16-year-old son Thaddeus. The wife and son had their throats slit. Solomon was tortured, then gutted and bled out. Feeney and I caught the case. You and Feeney? You were partners? No, after. It was about 20 years ago. Feeney had homicide. I had organized crime, and I turned Solomon. He worked for Colin Boswell, human trafficking. And it goes off there. I don't want to go too much into it. You can read that for yourself. Rourke buys the painting. He gets to stay with the family. Oh yeah, the brother is in trouble. He's gonna it's going to haunt him for the rest of his life, what happens with the brother. So I won't spoil that part with you. There is a cute moment. The marriage rules clearly require me to worry about you when applicable. It made him laugh, so he released her shoulders to take her face in his hands and kiss her. Expert consultant civilian fraternizing with the primary investigator while said investigator is on duty is a violation. Now she took his face in turn. Might as well do it again. And when he held on another moment. You're the heart of me. I wish I could stay and watch you take on this particular asshole, but I've already shifted and juggled quite a bit today. One day, he said as he started out, you might send me a copy of those marriage rules. We've never seen them. Eve just brings them up every now and then. So we're just going to go fast forward with this. We don't need all this. I took way too many notes. So I want to just double check this. But because of the circumstances in the case, Feeney orders that a tracker is put on Eve. And it's cute if I'm at the right page. So they put the tracker on Eve, and they say that Rock needs to wear one too. And his company manufactured it, so he's wearing his own product. But Eve is like, she needs to have Rock wear the tracker. And I'll be sure to tell him that when he kicks my ass for trying to stick one of these on him. Jesus, Dallas, just pull out some wife shit. What's wife shit? How you know he's smarter and stronger and whatever other crap you need to toss in. How you're worried how worrying messes you up. Shit like that. So he does it because he's worried and guilty. Because you're worried, just wife shit. It fascinated. How do you know wife shit? Because I've had one more in half my life, for Christ's sake. Sheila doesn't pull out the wife shit regular, and that's why it works every goddamn time. Wife shit, Eve considered. It seemed like maybe it could run parallel with the marriage rules if she stretched it enough. If it doesn't work, I'm calling you in. You're probably better at it. So, I did all that. Somerset goes shopping, and he gets a feeling. Rourke goes to Andion, and where's that other? Oh, I like this part, and I want to share it. It's a little character part, and I like how Rourke is. I just like how he is with the kids and stuff. It's nice to see a boss that cares. He's at Andion, his school. They brought in the upperclassmen first, so teenagers swarmed the building. Most had come in solo from shelters, other schools, troubled homes, foster homes, through child services. But he could see some had formed little groups already. A trio of giggling girls, a pair of boys slouching by ignoring the giggling girls. He imagined most were here because they'd been given no choice. And he had to hope that most would find something here that sparked their interest, imagination, talents that gave them a sense of self and purpose. Time would tell. He'd heard music from the music room and wandered that way expecting to find one of the music instructors entertaining kids. Instead, he found a boy of 14 playing as he had been born holding a guitar. He stood spread-legged, black-streaked, blond hair, flapping his eyes and his fingers blurry miracles as he finessed a complex riff. The smile dropped away and the fingers stilled when the boy spotted Rock. I wasn't hurting it. On the contrary, Rock said and continued into the room. You illuminated it, played brilliantly. He amended when he saw confusion. Where did you learn to play? The boy shrugged and tossed back his mop of streaked hair. Just picked it up. You can make some decent money playing in the subway if you get the right station. And I was doing fine before they scooped me up. I imagine so. When the boy put the guitar back on the stand, Rourke shifted subtly to block his exit. What do you think of Avenue A? They got a sniff, another shrug, but interest showed in his eyes. They can scream it even for old guys. Jake Kincaid will be instructing here from time to time. Yeah, right, like a rock star gives a shit about any of this, any of us. It happens he does. He'll instruct occasionally for the music department and speak to those interested about songwriting, composing. His bandmates will give time as well. That's chilly, I guess. What do you think of Mavis Freestone? The kid had green eyes sharp as shard of glass. She can rock it for a girl. You'll be seeing some of her as well. No doubt you'll sign up for the music courses. The corner of the boy's lip curled. I don't need no freaking courses. Perhaps they need you. Is your own guitar in your room? I don't have one anymore. And here Rock heard grief under the defiance. Asshole busted it up in the shithole foster home. Well, I cut myself off. So hopefully this works. I'm going to restart the little piece I was reading on Rourke. The corner of the boy's lip curled. I don't need no freaking courses. Perhaps they need you. Is your own guitar in your room? I don't have one anymore. And here Rourke heard grief under the defiance. Asshole busted it up in the shithole foster home they dumped me in before they dumped me here. I see. Well then, you're not in a shithole foster home now, though I imagine you'll run into a few assholes here at well. The world's full of them. That got a reluctant snicker. Rourke held his hand out. Clearly the boy didn't want to take it, but did. Gee, just gee. Well, just gee. Rourke lifted the guitar off the stand, held it out. Have this one then. It's yours if you sign up for the music program. It's a fair trade. Rourke added when G hesitated. They'll say I stole it and boot me. Unless you're a complete git, you know who I am. Give me your word on the program and it's yours. No one will say you stole it. Why? Suspicion darkened those sharp eyes as the boy stuck his hand in his pockets. You're looking for a BJ or something? Ah, Christ, do I look like solicit underage boys for sex? G gazed held Rourke's. Plenty do who don't look like it. Sure enough, isn't it? Sign up for the program, take the guitar, and the only strings are the sticks on it. Take the deal, G. It's a fine one. When the boy still hesitated, Rourke pushed. There was a time in my life no one gave a bloody thing about me either, but a hard hand. Then someone did, and it changed my life. Take it. Give the program, give the school a chance. See where it takes you. I can just keep it? That's right. I'll make sure Mrs. Pickering and the rest of the staff know it's yours. Okay. G pulled his hands out of his pockets and took the guitar, smoothed his fingers down the neck. I can keep it if I get booted. It's yours, Rourke repeated. Don't get booted. So then he goes to talk to Rochelle and I just love this whole scene at Andion. We catch up with Quilla and Nadine, and there's some really nice little moments with Quilla and Nadine. A sharp one was Quilla, Rock thought. She'd know where the boy G came from, how he'd gotten here. Come here, come here, come here, come here. Read my book with me. Read my book with me. Um, interning with Nadine first, he supposed the term would be polished her up a bit. She wore snug flowered pants and a high top sneakers with a purple loose t-shirt that matched the sneaks in her hair. Confidence never a problem for Quilla, as radiated as she passed the city for her blog. And from here, she said, we can look out on where we came from, where one day we'll go back. We'll be smarter, we'll be stronger, and we'll make the city, we'll make the world beyond it a better place. This is Quilla, reporting for Andian. She turned, jolted a little, then grinned at Rock. Hey, didn't hear you come up. Hey yourself, I didn't want to interrupt your report. I have to edit the crap out of it. I got so much stuff, I figured the end first part up here. You know, like the big visual. You're a clever one, Clever. Yeah, well, anyway, Mrs. Pickering's going on to want me to cut out the swear words and all, but that's really censorship, right? Still, I want Nadine to see the raw footage. She has opinions. She rolled her eyes, then laughed. Really good ones, mostly. I got some of you on here. Nothing like embarrassing or anything. That's good to know. I kind of wanted to get some of Dallas. She's going to try to stop by today. Okay, Frosty. Anyway, Nadine said she would probably maybe use some on her show, The Now. That would be beyond Mag if it's good enough. Show me some. Her eyes widened. Really? Pick 10 minutes. And he sat on the bench by the memorial, clutching the vidcam. The ever-confident Quilla showed nerves. Will you be like totally honest, even brutal? Nadine says if you pretend something's good when it's not, you're not doing anybody any favors. Who'd argue with Nadine? Sit, show me. I'll be brutally honest. And after she had and went back inside, pleased and satisfied, he sat in the quiet alone. When his link singled one of his contacts on Cobb, he accepted the optimist of his day ended. So then, he does some of that. He talks to Rochelle about the kid and crack. We get Rochelle. Rochelle is in a relationship with Crack, the big black guy, and Eve is the skinny white girl. So that's interesting. They get a line on Crack. Eve goes to Andian herself and talks to Nadine and Rochelle, and I really enjoy it. I like it. And like I said, she could have become. Then we have a guy from Interpol who used to be a cop in Ireland come, and he's got a little bit of a thing for Rourke. He wants to interview Rourke and see what Rourke knows. Maybe he can pin a crime on Rourke or something. It's not too big of a hard-on, but it's just enough to irk the crap out of Eve. But they end up dealing with him, and they get Moreline and Cobb. And this book ends with the speed chase to end all speed chases. It's awesome. She's never done it before. This is not your average car chase. I had a magic marker. I have to get that off. I was writing notes for this and the magic marker slipped. So it's a really cool speed chase. It's not only on land, but it goes into the air. And we end up in Ireland with Rourke's family. There's a whole thing there on the shuttle, the whole 9 yards. It's awesome. So Check it out. Book 51, J.D. Robb, Shadows and Death. And listen to the audio, Susan Erickson. It's just great. You'll have to check it out. I hope I didn't bore you too much. I really enjoyed these books. I can't tell you how much. It's just awesome. And we learned some more about Rourke's background, which is always interesting. So please hit the like and subscribe and let me know I'm doing a good job. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you so much.